J Spot Jack Cheese, Catback Comics. It's week 6 of my Marvel review thing. I mean, it's Avengers time. It's time for the first Avengers. It's still good. I was still worried that it was gonna kinda but man, that's how you do a hero team up movie. Like, I don't I'd be hard pressed to think of, as far as like the mainstream mass appeal type, I'd be hard pressed to think of a better like a better way to do that. It's not a perfect movie. It still features AC/DC for one. I'm saying, as far as superhero movies, as far as comic book movies, as far as the superhero team up, it's hard to top. It'll be hard to top because the big problem with movies like these, like there have been plenty of movies with large cast of characters that just fall apart because of it, or at least doesn't service it. You compare it to something like Suicide Squad, which is the complete like polar opposite of how to handle an ensemble cast. They're introduced in, like, you get like just enough like setup for everybody. Except for Hawkeye. Hawkeye is one of the movie's kind of faults or whatever. It's I get that it adds tension, it adds drama, but and there is like some like plot driven thing. He helps out Loki tell his secrets, but like he could have got somebody who's not an Avenger. It's just weird that there's an Avenger who's not even an Avenger for half the movie. But for the most part, everybody gets like their good intros. They're all really fitting. The pacing and structure of the whole movie is pretty much perfect. Like, the pacing slash structure of the movie is pretty damn near perfect. There's like not a scene that is not needed. You got kind of your intro to the story, Loki coming on, taking the Tesseract, blah blah blah, and then you got your intro to each of the characters that you get a good amount of time with, not too much though. Yeah, I'm just kind of telling it what the plot of the movie is, but like that's what makes it work. It's the pacing and just the chemistry and the great like dialogue between the characters. It's like, yes, this is how this team would come together. Like, it's awesome to see them fight, but like in the forest and stuff. But like even better than that, one of the scenes that every time I watch it, I can't like not just watch it the whole like all attention to it, is before the battle on the helicarrier, when they're in that like lab room or whatever, and they're all just like throwing insults at each other, and it's like that tension is building. It's really good, just back and forth, really good. You got like great one-liners, but also like really good character writing. Just the way that they're able to do the writers, the Whedon and the other writers were able to like merge those so well, like their own like style with and their own style, making the story continue and just keeping with the characters is really good. I loved being reintroduced to Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. He's so good in this movie. He's one of my favorite parts about it. He might be my favorite character in the movie, probably. He's got really good moments. And thankfully, it's got a good villain. Obviously Loki, everybody pretty much agrees he's like the best one in the Marvel universe, and I'd probably agree. When you get to the climax, to the big battle in New York, it's so well like choreographed, and the way that sequence is set up is brilliant. Like, the way that it uses all the characters to take it follows one character, and then it veers off and it follows another character, and you get to see like of all these different combinations. You get to see Thor and the Hulk fighting dudes together. You get to see Captain America and Iron Man fighting dudes together. You get to see Hawkeye and Black Widow, and then you get to see them like swap, and then Thor and Captain America are fighting, and they're always doing new things for the most part. Like, I'm not saying like they only punch once, but like you're every time it goes back to somebody, they're not just like doing the same like standing in a circle and just going hammer, shield, black. Like they're it's a very creative. I mean that goes with choreography. Yeah, I already said it was good, well choreographed, and it's that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is that just the way that they're always doing something new, interesting, and even though the battle's like a half fucking hour long or something, I'm trying to think of like bad things, and like there's not a lot because it's a pretty good movie. It is a little tropey. You got the whole, they caught the bad guy halfway into the movie, and the bad guy wanted to be caught because that was part of his plan because he didn't do something else. The whole laser into the sky thing that's done in like every other superhero movie now. So I want to actually have like negatives because I don't want to be like just showering praise on this movie. This is not the greatest movie of all time. I'd say some of the backstory stuff is a little lacking, and I get that because they're trying to keep the movie going, keep the plot going. And it's already 2.5 hours, but some of the stuff with, I guess mainly Thor and Loki. The Loki, why is he working for Thanos and the masked dude? What power do they have over him? That he can't just run away or, teleport and stuff. And then with Thor, how he got back to Earth. I know they say, your dad must have used a lot of magic to get you here or something like that. But I just wish there was a little bit more. They settled on that more than just seemed like a throwaway line. Or how did he know Loki was on Earth and all that. My biggest problem with the movie as a whole is the helicarrier scenes, that whole middle chunk of the movie where the whole team is on the helicarrier, and pretty much the whole movie for a good, 40 minutes ish, maybe longer, is just on that helicarrier, and it's such a bland set. I get it. It's an aircraft carrier, but it's a pretty bland set, and can't really remember where a lot of scenes go where, and still like that arguing scene that I brought up is really cool, and I love all that stuff. I love the dialogue between between the team at least is good, but there's and I would still say what I said before, where like I would say pretty much every scene in the movie is crucial. It's just, I really think it's just the blandness of the set and how long that whole thing is that it just kind of, I don't know if I'd say boring, but it just kind of is like, after a little while. Even the action scene there, that's probably the weakest action sequence of the whole movie. There's cool moments in the scene, and it's like, oh shit, Hulk's out, but for the most part, it's the blandest chunk of the movie. Then that's the biggest knock I can give it. But despite that, obviously despite that, I'm still going to say that The Avengers is great. The Avengers are great. The Avengers movie is great. It's weird to say, but The Avengers is great. If it's not obvious already, that one is obviously at the top of the list. Really not hard to choose. Really not that hard at this point. Until this one, I was seriously doubting the whole Marvel formula. The movies so far have been fine, not as great as I remember, but man, the Avengers pretty much still lived up to memory. Like, I never realized like how little they had when they jumped into the Avengers. Like, they really were kind of going for it there. I remember like thinking back, I was like, oh yeah, they'd spent so much time setting up. They had so many movies out, but like there still wasn't a ton to that universe when the Avengers came out, and they just went for it, and it fucking worked. I feel like Avengers and on is where they really kind of got into their groove. They started making, at least I hope, maybe I'll watch these and have the same feeling as Phase 1, but from what I remember, after Avengers and afterwards, where they really stepped up their game and started making really sweet ass superhero movies that makes them what they are now. That's the Phase 1 list at least. Maybe I'll split it up into phases. I don't know. That might be too much. I'll do phases and then the main list. I don't know. It'll make it a lot easier on me. Not a lot. I need to stop talking to myself. Next week is the start of Phase 2, which means it is Iron Man 3, which I'm really excited to rewatch. And, yeah.